What's going on, guys? I'm Femi the Agent,
And I'm Femi the Realtor.
and here we are on another episode of Sneakers and Real Estate. Two of the favorite things that I love to talk about. You guys know if you follow me, you watch the stuff that we're doing. We're real estate guys, but sneakerheads. We love to collect them, buy them, wear them. The ones we don't wear, we end up selling them. So today I went and dug in the stash. I'm not going to talk too long about sneakers because I want to get into it with my esteemed guest here. We're trying to bring you guys a lot of educational stuff. So today we're going to be talking about hard money. But this pair here I have is the Air Force One cartoons, the brown ones. So the storyline behind this, Nike did a collaboration with Mr. Cartoon. If you guys are familiar with tattoos in LA, he's a big LA guy, big tattoo guy, big he used to be really big into graffiti. I think that's where his passion for tattoos kind of started. And he's also a big car enthusiast. All the old school cars, the Impalas, all those old school cars. He's really big into. But him and Nike did a collaboration. This pair actually dropped in 2005. So that's how long I've had these, and they're still in pretty good condition, folks. I can actually wear these right now. So this is the Baroque brown with the linen. This color here they call linen, and then you have the patent leather check. So, like I said, really, really dope sneaker. Really comfortable. I mean, Air Force One has been around since 1984. I was 10 years old when they started making Air Force Ones. But this is a really dope pair. They actually came out with the cartoon series. I think they came out in 4 colors. You have the brown ones. You have 2 pairs of blues and the Cinco de Mayos, which I don't have. I only have these. But really, really dope shoe if you can find them. I'm sure they're still online, still floating around somewhere. They do come at a premium, I'm sure. So, but if you definitely are into sneakers, the detail on these sneakers, the laser etching of the little clown on the side, and just all the details. I'm a really big guy on details on sneakers, which is why I really, really love these, and definitely something that I would still pull out up till now, 2023. So I'm not going to talk too much more about the sneakers. You can find these online. We'll jump into some real estate and just figure out what's going on right now with the interest rates.
Well, the rates right now for 30-year are a little bit over 7. For a 15-year, a little bit over 6. So, the rates are a little bit up right now, but, depending on your situation, if you have to buy, that's not going to change whatever your situation is right now. And as far as if you're looking to sell, it's still always a good time, especially with the spring market coming up right now. A lot of competition and stuff like that. A lot of homes are going to be going on the market. People's kids are coming out of school, stuff like that. So, you want to get a jump on that if you're thinking about it, or, you want some price evaluation, stuff like that, because, when a bunch of other homes are on the market and it's not only yours, you kind of get a little bit, not less leverage, but people might overlook certain things because, they could go down the block. They have a bunch of other options. So, it just opens up people's eyes to not hone in on your specific home because they have so many other options to choose from. So, you want to take advantage of everybody, as far as, getting your home on the market first, or, starting the process with that. So, it's still a good time to sell, and also still a good time to buy. A right situation or a right deal is always a right deal. So, whether the rates are a little bit high right now, you can always buy down in the beginning, or, you have different options to play with as far as the rates. So that's it for right now.
Yeah, so definitely now, just like my son said, still a great time to buy, still a great time to sell. Interest rates, not really too much you can do about that. But yeah, how's the situation? That is what it is. At the end of the day, you guys, you're going to be paying somebody's mortgage. So do you want to pay your landlord's mortgage, or do you want to pay your mortgage? So you guys have to make that decision based on whatever your circumstances are. But we have my esteemed guest here today. Today I wanted to talk about hard money. So we got my guy Mike Ramin here from Share States. We appreciate you, and we thank you for joining us on Sneakers and Real Estate.
All right, awesome, guys. Thank you for having me.
No problem. So I guess we'll jump right into it. You had some questions for him?
Yeah, I kind of wanted to know like how you marketed or like got out the company or like advertised in a sense, like.
Yeah, absolutely. So ShareState's about 10 years in now.
Okay.
Two of our co-founders, they were in the title industry, so they've been in title insurance now for over 20 years.
Okay.
So they had a book of business on that end. And when we got the natural progression, we got into the lending side, they were able to bring in guys that they knew for years. So it was, whether it was speculators, developers, investors, kind of get them in, introduce them to the lending that we were doing, and kind of help them expand their portfolios. Originally, private lending, hard money, whatever name you want to give it now, today bridge financing. Traditionally, people had like mom and pop shops or other places, and it wasn't as institutionalized.
Right.
The people that had the ambition, like, and you probably know, you get guys in the Bronx that were buying, the 2 or 3 family homes, whether it was at the steps at the auctions or they had their own guys on the street buying them.
Right.
They had limited capital, or they were paying like 12 to 14% maybe 10 years ago. So the idea within share states was to get them more capital, get rid of concentration limits. In certain instances, get them higher leverage, get them capital to, fix the property, whether it was through renovation, if they were doing ground up. A lot of conversions. Conversions very popular in Brooklyn.
Right.
If you've seen certain streets like Dean, Quincy, many other areas in Brooklyn.
Or downtown by Barclays.
Yeah, people are buying 2, 3 family homes and turning them into 8 to 10 unit properties.
Wow.
Help with the shortage of housing. They would rent them out immediately. So these weren't even plays to convert them to condos. So that was a big part of it. The business grew from there more. So like we originally met, Femi the agent through. I got to get it right. We met originally through lending partners that worked with us on the title side for years.
Right.
And then kind of just met through there and helped with fix and flips and all that. How the business grew was referrals. A lot of our borrowers were like, oh, like 2 of my friends need financing for fix and flips also. Can you hook them up? Mm-hmm. Grew from there. Then the broker business. We got into the large brokerages in the country. Mm-hmm. And also being national helped kind of grow the footprint. We finance loans now in over 40 states.
Nice.
So you're able to do a lot of stuff. We're licensed in states that require, like California and Arizona. Arizona's been a hot spot for a couple of years now. And it snowballs, and you're able to kind of move with your investors. So a lot of investors that were, targeting Suffolk County, Nassau County, and then saw either a lot of competition, the spreads weren't as high. They were like, here, let me move to Connecticut. Let me move to Pennsylvania. Let me move to other places. Right. We're able to move with them. Nice. The next progression from there was that same borrower was like, all right, cool, fix and flips are cool, but I want to do something else. I want to hold property now. Mm-hmm. He's made a lot of money. He flipped 100 homes last year. He's like, I'm going to buy a 5 family, a 6 family. So a lot of fix and flip lenders, they only do 1 to 4 family. Right. The idea was to get them products that can help them scale and stay with you. So we got into multifamily, mixed-use properties, ground-up construction, and commercial. So we'll do office, retail, and warehouse. And those have been popular assets. And interesting how we got into all of them. Like I always tell people, warehouse properties was one of the funniest. A guy came to us. He's like, I'm flipping warehouses. I'm making $1 million a pop. I'll pay you 14%. And we were like, we showed our investors a couple of properties he flipped, and he said, we'll lend on the first one and see how it goes. He finished in like 6 months, sold it for like over $1 million profit on it. We did a couple more with him. He was ahead of the game on warehouses. This was like 6-7 years ago. Before it's one of the hottest assets right now, with whether it's Amazon dropship sellers, all that. Right. And we got into that asset. And even yesterday, one of our first borrowers came back to us with a warehouse he's buying in New Jersey.
Nice.
So pretty cool to kind of see the progression. And he was always a multifamily guy, but now he owns 3 warehouses in Jersey.
Nice. So when you have, you hear so many different things. So when it comes to, I guess, not traditional lending, you hear people talk about hard money, hard money, hard money. What I guess is the whole basis behind hard money for some people who don't understand?
So there's a lot of things. If you were going to go to a regular bank, and you guys have done you've sold God knows how many homes at this point. If you went into a home and went to traditional financing and the roof had a hole in it and there was no plumbing in the house, there's no kitchen, you couldn't go to like Bank of America and get a loan. Right. They would say it's not livable, it's uninhabitable, it's not doing it. So we're able to get financing on that because the idea is I don't need a CO. There could be violations. Right. You don't have to have plans approved, but we obviously prefer it, or have drawings. Right. But I could get you financing for a project like that based on your experience and credit within 2 weeks or less. We've done closings, and we just did one for a repeat borrower, day one borrower. He's been with us for about 10 years now. We closed his loan for him in 72 hours.
Wow.
So for someone like that needs the capital quickly, either is getting a cool deal, works out. Another reason people can't go to banks, I forgot what the exact number is, but on your personal credit, you can only get, I think, about 10 mortgages or less. On a borrower that's looking to flip, 10 a month,
Right.
they're going to get recorded to their personal credit. They're going to get cut off after 10 homes.
Right.
So natural progression was to get a private lender, doesn't report to your credit. We still verify borrower's credit to make sure the liquidity is good.
Of course.
You're not like use the word deadbeat.
Deadbeat.
But you want to make sure they're paying.
Right.
So we've done a lot of stuff like that and helping people scale. We don't have concentration limits. Our top borrower has done close to 800 million to date. He's done about 5,000 units. He grew his business starting in New Jersey. We were able to help him expand, get him into other states. So him and his company. I mean, it's not one guy. They're a very big company at this point.
Right.
So they're in Georgia, Memphis, Maryland, and New Jersey. And we're able to help him scale his business, show him properties in other states. And he was able to help, if we had to ever take anything back.
Nice.
So I think hard money over the years got like a bad connotation because traditional hard money lenders were like people in bad situations,
Right.
trying to take their properties if they couldn't pay and kind of capitalize on that.
Capitalizing on that situation, right?
Yeah, our platform was created for real estate investors. We're not loan to own. I want a borrower to succeed, sell the property, and borrow more money and keep
Right.
buying from it, and to grow their portfolio to whatever it is. To see guys grow up to 5,000 units, to see a borrower that came in as a first-time borrower with share estates and do their first fix and flip like on a $120,000 home, and now they're doing maybe 10 homes because we're able to help them progress to that.
Right.
We had guys that progressed from regular flips to heavy rehab to ground up to multifamily.
Wow.
So it's pretty cool to watch that over the years. And I think going to traditional banks is a little tougher doing that. So
Yeah, because they have so many, like you said, so many requirements and so many, what's the word I'm looking for? I guess restrictions. When it comes to, like you said, just, trying to find a way to get financing on the project or trying to get, financing on something that you're looking to get into really quickly.
Also to close quickly. A lot of times, and I'm sure you bought deals, you say, I'm going to give you an all cash offer.
Right.
All the times, all cash doesn't mean anything, but you don't have a mortgage contingency.
Right.
So a lot of times they won't give you access for an appraisal or other stuff. I mean, a lot of our borrowers say, hey, I just want to take pictures so I get ready for construction.
Right.
And they take the appraiser with them. But at least you get able to get your values, your market.
Right.
I always tell borrowers, like, if you don't know the market, if you don't know if you're not dealing with the Department of Buildings there, if plan approval's hard, you're going to have to deal with a lot of stuff. I wouldn't go somewhere. You might get these costs that you don't know, and will take something you think you're going to make like 30, 40% on, so you're going to lose like 10% of your money.
Right. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, like you said, it's about, everybody being able to, make money on a deal. And, you guys are in business of lending and, you want to see, a borrower grow, like you said, their book of business. You want to be, you want to see them grow whatever they're looking to do. And I think being able to be in a position where you can give the funding, rather quickly, I think is really cool. So for, I guess, a first time investor that comes to you guys, or what's the requirements for you guys when someone comes in and they're looking to get money for like fix and flip?
So it depends. Experienced borrowers are great, but they want to see credit on an experienced borrower like at 660 or higher.
Okay.
The limits on a lot of this stuff used to be a lot lower. Less liquidity in the market. Obviously, people are scared with what's going on
now, right?
Either whether it's bank failures, rising interest rates, all that. The biggest issue you have right now in America is a shortage of housing.
Right.
So you have about 6.5 million short on homes.
6.5 million.
Yeah, so for all of America, which I know the population is close to 400 million, but 6.5 million homes is a lot to be short.
Yeah.
The bigger problem with that is last month, only 49,000 new homes started. So that doesn't even come close to fixing that issue.
Fixing the problem, right?
So even with rate increases, a lot of people are like, why aren't prices coming down? It goes back to what we just talked about.
The shortage.
If there's no inventory. You have way too many buyers to a point where, like, why should I drop the price?
Right.
To go back to what Femi the realtor was saying is you have borrowers right now, like people are complaining about the rates, but with the shortage of homes, people are still going to buy. If you can get a house at asking price today,
right,
you should buy it because in a year from now, you're probably going to be stuck in a bidding war. You're going to pay more even though you have a lower rate.
Right.
So if you can get it now, you could shell out the money, refi in a year. Get it. Put some work into the house, get a higher value, get some cash out in a year from now if rates are, everyone's anticipating by the end of the year for the Fed to drop for rates to come down. So I always tell people, like, if you have an opportunity to buy, it goes back to like whose mortgage do you want to pay.
Who's mortgage? Yeah. At the end of the day, I mean, me even being in the business 20 years, I bought a house last year. I paid $100,000 over ask, but for me, the situation made sense because the house that I'm in, we've been in now, I think 18 years. So, you're always looking for the ideal situation, and when the motivation or the opportunity presents itself, you want to be able to, jump on it instead of sitting around waiting. Like you said, rates are always going to, fluctuate up and down, and they're going to, it's going to do what it's going to do, and you have no control over that.
Absolutely.
So we just have to, you try to position yourself and try to find like you said, the ideal situation. So you were saying with an experienced borrower, you guys normally look for, you said 660 on the credit score?
660 credit. I mean, credit's not the biggest thing. They're going to look at track record. They want to see liquidity. They want to see experience. So experienced borrowers, they're able to get them better leverage. So they'll get them up to like 85% loan to cost.
Right.
I think the market was a year ago at 90% loan to cost. You'll still see some products like that, but at higher rates. It lowers your spread sometimes when you're getting that much leverage. Maybe it's not a good deal if you need all that.
Right. Well, I think, for you guys, for, the person that's giving the money, you always want to see, the borrower have, I guess, what we call in the business, skin in the game.
Yeah,
absolutely. You want to, it's not just you come to me and you're looking to get a deal where you're not putting any money down. You have to put down, like you said, 15 to 20%, because you guys are also financing the rehab.
Yeah, absolutely.
Correct? So construction.
The goal is always to get 100% of the rehab finance, works in reimbursements. It's pretty quick. You've done draws with us before. It's gotten even quicker now. I think the technology and the process for that's gotten a lot better from when we first got in the industry.
Right.
When we first got in, it was actually really quick because only experienced players were getting loans.
Right.
Then a couple of bad apples came into it, and they messed with the
like
whole
with
draw
anything
process.
else.
Yeah. So they made adjustments. It got slower. Investors started scrutinizing every draw, like what's going on here. It doesn't look like he did $75,000 worth of work. It looks like 60. I think it got a lot better recently. I think as rates went up, a lot of the guys that snuck into the business because it seemed like a great business kind of stepped out.
Right.
Rates now are back up to where they were 10 years ago, between that 10 and 12% mark.
Okay.
Last year, you were getting hard money or private lending, between 6 and 8%, which is nuts.
Right.
Obviously, it's doubled and gone back up, and people are still taking it, finding deals. Guys that were we call them the OG borrowers, they were paying 12 to 14% 10 years ago and getting deals and closing and selling them.
Right.
They're not scared of the rate. It's just another number on your line item.
Right.
And if you put that number in and your profit's still there, what does it matter?
What does it matter?
You found a good deal.
Right.
So it definitely works. But we look at experience, but we'll do first timers. For first timers, they just want to see higher credit, or they want to see proof of a primary residence.
Okay.
A lot of first timers I've seen over the years were either realtors that you guys see all the deals first.
Right.
So if something comes up and it's distressed, you're like, well, I could buy it myself, or I could partner with.
I could partner with somebody. Right.
You also see a lot of contractors. On the flip side, a lot of fix and flip guys, they're contractors over the years. Hey, I've done 10 projects for this guy. I'm getting a contractor fee, but this guy's making
he's making all the money,
50, 100,000 on each flip.
Right.
I've seen a lot of contractors get into it. I've seen a lot of contractors partner with realtors, and those partnerships a lot of times have made the most money because the realtor's finding a very good deal and able to sell it because he already has a list of buyers, or he, she, whoever has a list of buyers. The contractor is going to do it at a much slimmer margin to make the money on
the back end,
and they move quicker. The contractor's working for himself, and he knows he's getting paid on the back end. That project, you don't have that 2 week.
Well, that motivation definitely turns around, right?
Oh yeah, because most contractors, I'll finish in 30 days, and 6 months later you have a house. Now it's done in 30 days or less.
Right. Yeah, and what people don't understand, like you said, if it goes from 30 days to 6 months, that's still interest that you're paying every single month.
Yeah.
So if like you said, for somebody, I guess first time, what is I know it's not just the score, but as far as scores, you're looking over 700?
Over 700 on a first timer.
Okay.
Most of them are pretty good with it these days. In general, we do the rental loans too. So DSCR, long-term rental loans.
Right.
Those were all the way down to 620 credit. And then the minimum on those is 660, 680 now.
Wow. Okay.
So those have changed a lot,
right,
from where it was a year ago. The rates on those changed a lot too. We were doing high threes, to mid fours. And the rates on those are all the way from mid sevens to 9.
Okay.
So on 30-year financing, obviously much higher than when it was
a year or two ago. But also, like you said, with the interest rates, traditional lending, you're talking 7%. So if you're paying anywhere between 7 and 9, really not the worst thing in the world. Because also with the rental loans, that also it doesn't go under your personal credit. It goes under you would put it under your corporation or
Goes
LLC,
under-
right?
Yeah, all the loans go under an LLC.
Right.
That protects us. The lender protects the borrower.
Right.
If you own 10 properties and one of them has a problem, you have a trip and fall, they're going to sue you on that LLC. They're not going to. Most borrowers we work with are not owning or having one property.
Right.
Most of them have a pretty strong track record. They've been in multiple states at this point, different projects, different partners. So.
What with you guys being in different states, let's say a Utica, or Rochester, and Albany, with the price points are a lot lower. What is I guess, a minimum number that you guys go into? If somebody's buying a project that's only like 200,000.
So our minimum loan amount's 100,000.
100. Okay.
And we go up to 75 million. So we do larger ground
Wow.
up and all. Larger multifamily, like rehabs, bridge, stuff like that.
Right.
But that $100,000 mark is where a lot of people started.
Right.
Some people stayed there and made a very good living on that.
Right.
And then you have guys that kind of go to a little higher price point. But areas like that on the Hudson, we have we have our own syndication platform also, and we've done a lot in Newburgh, right across from Beacon.
Right.
And if you go look at Newburgh now compared to maybe 5 years ago, big difference.
Right.
You had same thing, like a lot of influx, a lot of people moving over from Beacon or Fishkill that couldn't afford it anymore and needed
Right.
housing.
Right.
So those areas are great. Anything on the Hudson, you mentioned like some of the areas, Troy, all the way up to Poughkeepsie and other places.
Right.
People are definitely investing. I think with remote working, a lot of people moved up there.
That's true.
They like the life. You're on the water. You got a couple mountains.
Right.
You got Wi-Fi. It's not bad.
Once you have the Wi-Fi, you can do whatever you need to do.
Yeah.
But I think the great thing with yourself and the company is the growth in the company, and also being able to shift to go to different towns and different areas, and also having the leverage of the company behind you.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think is really dope. What do you see with everything that's been going on the last couple of days with or the last couple of weeks with the financial collapse of some of these banks? How is that affecting, I guess, the way that you guys are looking at some of the deals that are being brought to you?
So some of it has been. I'm not saying any of that's good. It's been good for borrowers. So like the DSCR, the rental loans, those
Right.
rates came down like a quarter point this week because treasuries were down. So the
Right.
2 and 5 year were down, the 10-year were down.
Right.
Telling anyone that has to lock rates, conventional rates have been down for
Have been
like
down
regular
too.
homes too. So if you had to like lock a rate, like great time to lock a rate.
Right.
Commercial properties that are off the 10-year treasury, you're saving 40 basis points on your rate. Lock it.
Right.
It's not bad. In the market itself, again, goes back to the shortage of housing, and employment is still strong, so people are buying homes or have jobs.
Right.
So you haven't seen it from our investors. You haven't seen any pullback from any of them.
Okay.
So it's still pretty strong on this side. I think some of it was a positive for this industry. Private lending in general, if the banks were cutting back or pulling back, this allows these investors and
But
institutional
it gives
people to get to
you
real
guys
estate.
have not the upper hand, but you also have the opportunity, like you said, to do more business.
That's
in a
part of
sense.
it. Yeah, and then other people. I mean, if you felt uncomfortable leaving your money in a bank, the next place you would put it is real estate.
Real estate. I
So-
try to tell people that all the time.
We have a lot of investors that come up and say, "Hey, like as much as this feels comfortable, I'll put it in a note, or I want to invest with you guys." Whether it's on, we start as a real estate crowdfunding platform.
Crowdfunding. I was going to ask you about that.
We still actually put loans on the platform. People invest, like they sell out within 24 hours. Our
Really?
investors are on, yeah.
Wait, go ahead. Sorry.
You're still making between like 9 and 12% on your money annually.
Right.
So
Because you're never going to get that in the bank, folks.
not in the banks. You're not going to get in the stock market.
Right.
So it's definitely something people like.
Okay. And with the crowdfunding that you're doing, what is the I guess the minimum buy-in?
I think now it's 5,000.
Okay.
When we first started, it was like 100, but that doesn't work. But 5,000 it works. A lot of people, like if you have 100,000 to invest, you'll see like a lot of investors put like 20,000 into 5 separate projects, so you don't have all your eggs in one basket.
In one basket, right?
But it's always good. You're secured by owning the note with other
Right.
people. And then I always tell people, if you have money, invest in real estate, and you have people that you feel comfortable with, trust them, or the best way to learn investing in real estate is to invest yourself. Even if
true.
you lose a couple bucks, it's like paying for school.
But you have to learn it one way or another. I think anything that we're looking to do, especially when you're looking to level up, it's always trial and error.
Yeah,
for the most
absolutely.
part.
especially now, one of the biggest things I've seen is like taxes are higher. So your real estate taxes are higher. Insurance, you've probably seen this in a lot of the homes you're doing. On a 2-family home in Queens that might have been like $2,000 last year, their insurance could be anywhere from $3,500 to $4,000 this year.
Yeah, it's funny. I have a project, one of my listings in Canarsie actually, and the guy was paying a 2-family. He was paying $1,500 for the insurance. Now the company is going out of business at the end of this month. Someone else is buying the property, but the insurance is twice the amount.
Yeah.
Almost, 2.5 times the amount of what it was before.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
Based on a lot of the recent natural disasters and all that stuff, it got expensive. Like Florida itself, try to insure something down there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wild.
So besides the fix and flip, the rentals, what else does Shea Estate do that you wanna promote?
Yeah, absolutely. Multifamily properties. So a lot of bars, whether you're buying a 5-unit or a 200-unit property that needs a little work, raising rent, poor management. A lot of people that own their properties for years. Before, people would buy multifamily deals with low rates because there was rent growth.
Right.
There was a big rental market, shortage of housing again, so they're able to raise rents.
Right.
Those deals don't work as well. But you have a lot of borrowers that are able to go into properties where the owners own it for 10 years. They've never raised rents. It needs a little bit of work.
Right.
And we're able to get them financing on that. So
Nice.
it's pretty quick closings. You're closing within 30 days. You get the 1 to 2 year loan. Outside of getting like good leverage on the purchase, anywhere from like 75 to 80% of your purchase price, you're getting 100% of that rehab budget again.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Able to fix those units. If you go somewhere like, let's say Memphis in general, there's old management in
Memphis,
there.
that's a John Morantis. We won't talk about that guy right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry,
Having a
folks.
good time though. So you had rents that were like anywhere from like $450, $500 a month.
Right.
Those landlords haven't raised those rents in like 10 years.
Right.
That market rent over there is now between $800 to $1,000 a month.
Wow.
So you put a little bit of work into that unit, but you're raising that value on that multifamily
Almost twice
exponentially.
it, exponentially.
You're,
Right.
you're doubling the value on it just by doing some work to the units.
Nice.
What's cool about like, a lot of technology that came out, you're able to do countertops. You don't have to have stone anymore. You don't have to have wood. There's definitely different
Things. That's true. Yeah.
different things you do. The cliff
Aesthetically, that'll still give it that look.
absolutely gives it a look. Over the years, people were spending a fortune on wood floors or linoleum tiles and stuff that would not fare well. Now you have these like wood click tiles. It looks like you have wood floors. They look great. They're easy to clean, wear, all that stuff. So
Nice.
now when you're turning over these units and doing the work into them, it's a renovation that's probably going to last a little bit longer than what the previous landlords or owners would have done or to maintain it.
Right.
So you see a big difference there.
Nice.
Outside of that, I mean, we mentioned the commercial, office, retail. Retail right now is at one of the lowest vacancy. It's the lowest vacancy
And yes, still since COVID.
since COVID till now, and it's dropping. I think it went down like another % last month. So I think people were home so much and ordering stuff. They're like, even if it's the dumbest thing to get out of their house and like go out just to
Right.
get out of their house, like, all right, honey, I've been with you enough today. Like, I'm gonna go.
I'm gonna go.
I'll go to CVS. Like,
Right.
are you sure you're gonna go? I'm like, I'm 100% sure I'm gonna go right now. I think people they've been home for so long they want to go out. Also, like, as much as you think Amazon is less, it's not. It's convenient. It's coming to your door, but it's not the cheapest option.
It's true.
If you go to the store still, you might get a better option.
Well, you're always going to pay for convenience.
Yeah. Convenience is great. Time saver. I do Costco off of Instacart. I'm not even going to lie. Saves you 2 hours.
Really?
You don't buy anything you don't need. If you walked up and down the aisles in Costco, you spend an extra $200 there on the dumbest things you never needed, but you're
A
like,
given, right?
yeah.
Every
oh,
single time.
I need a 400-pound bag of almonds. You don't. No one needs that.
You don't need that, right.
You don't need it.
Right.
If you don't see it on there, if you just buy what you need.
What you need.
And you make it a list, and you're not walking through the aisle and like, oof, gotta get that.
It's true.
need
Yeah,
400.
even when you go to like the TJ Maxx's and the Rosses and those stores, I'm gonna go in to buy a handkerchief and a pair of pants. You come out spending another. They got all the things by the registers.
Yeah.
You need the new AirPods. You need this. You need that. You need an extra plug. And
Every
there
time I
you
go there, I get suckered with candles. I walk up with 400 scented candles. I'm like, I don't even need, you're waiting online, you smell it. It smells nice. Buy another candle.
Right.
My house smells great.
The house smells good. Right. It's true.
No money left.
It's true. So, like you said, with everything that's going on, you guys are not seeing, I guess, a lot of changes or a lot of shift. I mean, I try to tell people that all the time, too, when it comes to, the space that we're both in, as far as, financial lending, real estate. You don't really see too much going on with that because those are things that's needed on a daily basis. And where you live is never going to change. You still always need a place to live.
Yeah. My economics teacher in college said the two best businesses are real estate and liquor shops. He said liquor because if you're happy, you're going to drink, and if you're sad, you're going to drink.
It's true.
And he said real estate because you always need somewhere to live. So I was
The
like,
liquor stores were, your economics teacher was right, because even during times of COVID, liquor stores were essential stores, folks. So
booming,
they were booming, making a lot of money.
booming.
Yeah, you and I did a shot on FaceTime for my birthday. So
Yeah.
yes, definitely.
We'll do a shot right now.
And we're gonna do
Ready?
Oh wow, you
Nice.
brought some. Okay,
Always
nice.
do a shot.
Okay,
Always ready.
it's 5 o'clock somewhere, folks.
It
so
is 5
don't
o'clock
judge us.
somewhere.
Right.
They don't know what time it is while we're filming.
That's true. You're right.
So yeah, I think I always feel good about real estate, especially more now. A lot of people are anticipating towards the end of the year. I don't know if inflation will be under control, but with what's going on within the banking system and other stuff, they are going to have to cut rates a little bit.
Yeah, I was trying to tell people, like the third quarter of this year going into the fourth quarter, you may see a little bit of a shift or a change, but not really too much going on. I mean, the motivation is still there, like you said, and people still. You always need a place to live, and a landlord may own a property, and they decide that their family members coming back in, out of the country, and they need that space that you're living in, that you've been in for the last 15, 20 years, and now you have to move again. So now you have to figure it out.
I think the supply chains are catching up finally,
Right.
and almost back to being full. That'll help with pricing.
Right.
If there's too much inventory, you're gonna have to lower your price to get rid of it.
That's true.
So hopefully that'll help out a lot. I think you've seen it with cars, a lot more available than they were
true.
a year ago.
It's true.
Toilet paper.
Toilet paper.
So, hopefully that continues. A lot of people are anticipating the end of this year, and then from like 24 to 27 to be a good run.
Right.
And I'm hoping. I still think there's a lot of opportunity out there in real estate.
I think so too.
If you're a developer, I have people that are still coming within. They're still finding 5 to 10 properties a month with a good spread in certain areas. You got foreclosures, REOs, auctions that are coming back.
That is starting to come back now. I just started seeing a bunch of stuff on the auction sites that weren't there a year ago. That weren't there. That wasn't there 6 months ago.
A lot of in person now. It
Right.
looks like a lot of places are open.
Right. Auction on the steps again, folks.
Yeah, definitely go to the steps.
Right.
Some they do outside the person's house, which is crazy.
Really?
In Connecticut, it's on the steps. That's how I got the name. It was on the steps of your door.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So I think people are going to have like a good year at the end of the year. You go through tough time. When rates were down and people were making money like hand over fist, they weren't complaining. Sometimes you got to get back to the industry that made you that money or helped you grow. And it always comes back. Real estate always comes back.
It always comes back. It all happens in spurts, folks. I mean, when the rates were 6%, when I bought, they gave me 8.75. So, and then I, kept that for 6 months and refinanced to 5.75. So, we're not in double digits. It's still a great time, to do anything, like you said, real estate related. So anybody comes to you right now and says, Mike, I have $5,000 or $10,000 that I'm looking to invest. I want to get started in the real estate game. What would you suggest?
With something like that, I always tell people when you're getting into your first fix and flip deal or anything to learn, to get on with someone that has experience.
Right.
Work with like a mentor, work with someone who's done deals. Even if you're not going to make a fortune with them and say, hey, I want to put like 20,000 in your next deal. If you could just teach me, I'll come in, I'll do work. I think that's very important for like first timers, people trying to get into real estate. There's no better experience than like boots on the ground and being there.
Right.
Whether it's looking at like contractor budgets, looking at contracts to learn about like when you're buying a home, selling a home, like what you should
What
put
it
in the
entails.
contract, what your attorney's going to put in there.
Right.
I think having the right team is very important. So like your attorney, your accountant, your contractor. So I always tell like first time real estate investors. I think mutual friends of ours like Charles, handsome home buyer.
Right.
He talks about like he looked for his first deal for like years.
Yes.
And then on his first deal, like I don't think he even made money. And then the next one.
He studied the market for 4 years before he bought his first house.
Yeah. So I think definitely learn about the market you're going into. Do that. Once you make a couple bucks, invest again with maybe your friend again. Do a couple deals, and then I've seen a lot of guys that they built their track records in their business as partners, and then they move on. And it's nothing bad. People get married, their lives change,
Right.
and they go their separate ways. But they got their experience. They know what they're doing.
But do you think that, I guess, somebody that's coming in, if you don't really, I guess, have the skin, you don't have tough skin, would you suggest somebody like that to maybe put the money into crowdfunding first, and then build up the money, and then maybe put it into a deal, or what would you suggest?
So
I mean,
just putting the
different
mon-
people is different
for everyone,
situations, of course.
it depends. There's certain like rules and laws for investing your money, so you would have to fit certain criteria to invest on that side.
Right.
But for a lot of passive investors that have like that do fit the requirements, doctors, other people that have money they want to invest, passive investing, it works great.
Right.
You're able to find deals. You work with someone's trust, track record, works out great. For people that want to actually own properties themselves, I always say boots on the ground.
Boots on the ground.
If it's something where you say you don't have the skin in the game, but you know someone that does have or could put money in, go find them a deal. Say, hey, I'm going to bring the deal,
Right.
but I want to be partners. I don't want to get paid for the deal. You know?
Right. You always have to, like you said, you have to be bringing some sort of value. If you have the money is fine. Anybody can get money. We can make phone calls and get together money. But if you're bringing a deal and you have a couple of bucks to put into it, it's a different situation. That now we're kind of working together, as opposed to you just telling me that you have 10 or 20,000 that you want to put in when I can get that money.
Absolutely.
So you have that in your in the bank.
And then the biggest thing for anyone getting into any industry is don't think it's easy. Everything is, you got to work your ass off. I don't know if I'm allowed to say words.
Yeah, it's fine.
You got to work
your ass off, folks.
Yeah, you have to work your ass off. You got to work long. When we first started the company, and I still do it to this day, I'll answer emails at whatever time you text me. I'll answer. My phone keeps vibrating now. People want to hear from you. You have to answer. You have to get back to people. Be honest with them.
Right.
If you can or can't do something, don't drag people.
Don't drag
along.
it. Yeah.
But you have to work. You have to put hours in. Anyone you see who's successful isn't that whole thing of like someone got lucky or no one got lucky. They worked really hard.
You create your own luck.
Yeah. I always tell people like basketball players aren't naturally good. That person got a basketball at 3 years old and has been playing every second of their life to be in the NBA.
Right.
There's like 100 players in the NBA. There's millions of people who play basketball.
Yeah.
It's not easy. So if you want to be successful in anything, like I used to do stand-up comedy. I wasn't funny, but like even with that,
I didn't even know that. So
Yeah,
you learn something new every day.
Yeah.
Stand-up comic.
No, it's good you didn't know. It was really bad.
Wow. Okay.
But like,
Because I would have came out to sport.
even on that, it's actually a mutual contact of ours said this to me when I got in the industry, and he's very right. Kevin Schmidt said, repetition creates success. Do the same thing
Create success.
really good over and over, and you'll become very successful.
Right.
That's it. Same thing. You can't.
You should. Why didn't you stick to it with the comedy? No.
What?
No, that
No, 'cause
wasn't.
it wasn't funny the first.
It wasn't
time.
fun.
Like,
Okay. Okay.
If I got you like funding on a loan, it worked out well. Just keep doing it. No, it was funny. It's just I think that's a very tough business to be like successful in,
Yeah.
and that's even tougher than like some of the stuff we do in finance and real estate.
Yeah.
But definitely the repetition creates success. If you want a six pack, you're not getting it from 10 sit-ups. You're gonna do 1,000.
Right.
You want to be a pop singer, you sing the same dumb song 4 billion times till everyone hears it.
Right. Yeah, I mean the financing, like you said, is really really important. Mike is actually one of my guys that I do a lot of my deals with. So that's why I wanted to bring him on, someone that I can actually, promote what they're doing, because you guys know I'm very big on promoting. I try to promote the real on my show and whatever I'm talking about. Someone that I've actually done business with, and we're going on almost 10 years.
Yeah.
And anytime that I need something, I can always reach out to Mike. So, if you guys are looking to get funded, you can reach out to Mike, let him know I sent you, and he'll definitely take care of you. What's the easiest way for them to reach you?
They could do my email, michael@sharestates.com, cell phone. I could put the number on here where everyone has it already.
Yeah,
So you can put that out there. At any time you reach out, doesn't matter. If I'm not available, you'll hear as soon as I get available, I answer everything.
Okay. Yeah, if you guys have different deals that you're looking to get financing on, always reach out to him. He'll let you know if the deal works, if it doesn't work. Because at the end of the day, folks, they want you to actually make money. If there's no money there for you to make, they're definitely going to tell you. You have some lenders that will still try to do the deal, even though they know that there's no money for you to make, but they're making the money on it. They're happy. They really don't care. So that's not what Mike does. So definitely, like I said, he's my guy. That's why I have him here. And if you guys are looking to sell real estate, reach out to me. If you're looking to buy, if you're behind on the mortgage and you're not sure what to do, definitely reach out to myself or my son. We have different people that we can put you in contact with, different attorneys that we can try to help. Try to see if we can help you save the home. But don't just put your head in the sand, folks, and think nothing's going to happen, because it's nothing more embarrassing than them actually coming to your door with the notice and the padlocks, and now you're homeless. So if you want to reach me, 917-337-3727. My son?
516-662-6824.
And on socials, Family Agent.
Femi the Realtor.
And Mike?
We got Slammin' Ramin or Mike Lonowitz.
Okay, so you can definitely reach out to Mike on both those socials. Have a great day, guys. Stay safe.